Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use Twin Hog Riders here at Townhall 13 to 3-star any base. So here is the army composition that we are going to be using today, and honestly this might be one of the most overkill strategies you can see at Townhall 13. If you can execute it correctly, which 9 times out of 10 you can, it is unbelievably powerful. You'll see on our heroes we do have some pieces of epic equipment. The ones that I would definitely recommend are of course going to be the rocket spear on the Royal Champion. The electro boosts are nice but not necessarily needed. You also definitely need to make sure that your archer queen's giant arrow is upgraded as much as you possibly can get it, because we're going to make the most of that damage early on. So let's jump in and we'll break this one down. So the first thing we're going to be doing is coming in with that giant arrow. Like I was talking about, you guys can see we're going to be firing it all the way through the base, and what we're looking to do is try to get damage onto as many of those big damage defenses as we can. So we see the Eagle Artillery gets damaged, we have Expos gets damaged, we have Scatter Shots get damaged, we also even have the Town Hall itself. We're looking just to get as much done as possible. We're then going to be coming in with that log launcher, using it behind that giant arrow to clear out some of these defenses nice and quickly. So you'll see the Eagle Artillery has already gone down. We're then going to be moving on to some of these remaining defenses. When it comes to spells, you'll see a couple of skeleton spells are going to be coming in here early. That is to make sure this enemy Royal Champion, or any of the enemy heroes in this particular circumstance, aren't going to lock onto our log launcher or our queen. As we cast our eyes down to this bottom section of the base, you'll see we used a Yeti wizard funnel to make sure our king is going the direction we want him to go. His job in behind that ice golem is to try and again take down some of those key defenses being the Inferno Towers. Log launcher still pushing on through. We ended up actually using the earthquake spell there in the middle of the base. Now you might wonder, why just drop one random earthquake? Well, it's to get even more damage done. We're clearing out some of those defenses in the core because we've already used the giant arrow and the log launcher has gone all the way through there, which is absolutely perfect for us. King was able to secure that bottom multi-target Inferno, Yetis secure the middle one, and we have already cleared a huge portion of the base. And this is only with our siege machine, a couple of troops, and of course our heroes. But now we can get going with the rest of this attack, which is going to be combining the Super Hog Riders and the regular Hog Riders. They're going to be coming in here alongside that Grand Warden as well as the Royal Champion. Super Hog Riders with more health, more HP, and honestly more DPS going to be coming out in front, and the regular Hog Riders going to be coming in behind. They combine really well. The Super Hog Riders eat up a lot of the damage, and the regular Hog Riders, you can get even more of them in there so they can swarm through on those buildings. Now here is a really important thing to keep in mind. As you progress through to that town hall, if it's an off-center town hall like we have here, you're going to want to try and take it down before your Hog Riders get there, or you need to hold on to your Grand Warden ability for this moment. You'll see though we have already used our Grand Warden ability, so what we end up doing is using that Royal Champion's ability early, therefore activating and taking down the town hall before it gets a chance to lock on to our troops. But this one, need I say more? Just look at the amount of troops and spells that we have left up in this attack. Absolute overkill, unbelievably powerful, and I'm looking forward to showcasing the next example. So moving through into that next example, again coming in against this base and trying to pick up as much value from the giant arrow as we possibly can. On these particular bases with the centralized town hall, you're still going to pretty much go about it the same way. Here comes our queen firing off that ability all the way through the middle of the base. Unfortunately this time we do actually miss activating and getting a bit of damage onto that town hall, but it's not the end of the world. We should still be over the 50% mark when we get there, so the Royal Champion should still be able to lock onto it. Looking here to get as much value as we possibly can with our Sui portion of the attack, which is basically our king and our queen. Log launcher of course is going to be coming in to try and help proceedings here. Double scatter shot, pretty lethal, but hopefully we should still be able to take it down. Those logs already have been able to get the value we were looking for, helping to deal with the clan castle troops as well as some of those other defenses, including those scatter shots that I was talking about. We do still have one left up here, but it looks like our queen should be able to get in there and deal with that. We had the Yeti wizard funnel again going to be coming in here. Baby dragon also funneled a little bit as well. But the good thing about the dual hog riders over the hybrid attack is the fact that all of the hog rider type troops target defenses. You don't have those miners kind of lagging behind, because sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect in those particular attacks with the hogs going off one way and the miners going off the other. In this particular one, because both the hog riders and the super hog riders target defenses, you're going to be sitting a lot more comfortably, especially when it comes to the use of your heal spells, because ideally, and most of the time this happens, your troops are going to be bunching up. So like you guys can see here, you can drop down your heal spell and it is going to be able to catch all of those troops. But again, need I say more? Look at the complete and utter overkill in this particular attack. Honestly, I love to see the hog riders getting some love, and that's why I'm showcasing this strategy. It's unbelievably powerful and it's unbelievably fun to use. Getting all that value from your heroes at the start means that those hog riders shouldn't have too much work to do through the back end. And here we are with that third and final example. A little bit of an unorthodox base here, but nothing we can't handle. Again, giant arrow going to be flying through the base, trying to get as much value as possible. You're then going to have that log launcher following the exact same line that your queen shot her giant arrow off in. Be very, very careful when it comes to things like single target infernos, because if they lock onto your barbarian king, that is not going to be ideal. We have to go ahead, pop his ability early to make sure we're dealing with that single target inferno, but it's not going to be a problem for us. We're just going to keep battering on through. King and queen both get held up by those ice golems in the clan castle. If you do come across a more damaged base clan castle, something like super minions or even the furnace, headhunters, that is where your poison spell is going to come in helpful. You also have free spells that you can potentially use to help, because like I said, we're trying to get as much value as we possibly can from our heroes and our siege. Continuing on with this attack, we're going to be bringing the hog riders in slightly earlier than we have seen in some of these previous examples, but it is not anything too different. You'll see, if you didn't already, we actually snuck the headhunter that we had in this particular attack all the way through, so it goes through the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome ability and it helps to take down any of the heroes that may be sniping off our hogs and super hog riders. We do still have that one free spell to help us through the back end. The Royal Champion with those Earthquake Boots combines really nicely, because it helps to deal just that kind of trickle damage, especially when it comes to things like skeleton traps or enemy clan castle troops. Takes them down super quickly, and this attack itself is unbelievably fast. I'm seeing this crush through bases under 2 minutes almost every single time, which is really fast indeed. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was super fun to showcase this particular strategy. If you didn't realize, I'm a huge fan of hogs and super hogs. They're just one of my favorite troops, so I love to see when the armies like this get some love. If you are going to use this, let me know down in the comments how you guys get on. The link for it, as always, is down in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at the Barracks as we try to push for 2,000 subscribers, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.